Okay, so quick feed for June 21st. A little bit of an awakening really here for the Commonwealth, because we've just realised that we aren't going to win this without some serious breakthroughs, and I don't think there's going to be a serious breakthrough. But we have to try and do our best. So this is actually post-movement. You can kind of see that units have moved around. I'm basically trying to just front load everything on a push straight up the coast. You'll also notice that the trucks that not 2 moments ago were red balling supplies up to Damascus, the Damascus front, have now suddenly appeared here. This was because whilst I had congratulated myself on trying to force this route, the sudden realisation hit the Commonwealth that actually they had no supply in place to force this route. Key element of OCS basically is having your supply in place for where you're going to attack. You cannot attack without supply. Pretty simple really. So a little bit of a panic and all resources thrown into making this possible. So supply has been rushed. Pretty much a one hit, but it's been rushed all the way up the coast road to try and get something available for these chaps here. And I think we're kind of relying here on the idea that we're also going to win initiative in the next turn, which obviously again isn't an automatic thing by any means. You'll also notice I put the air units there. The air units are barraging the cavalry unit. Obviously I've mixed the sequences slightly here to kind of show you in one hit what's going to happen in this turn. If we move down to Merjayun, which again hasn't particularly moved, again that's exactly the same sudden awakening where you kind of look and go, well actually, if I track down that road, there's our gallant HQ, and moving further down, originally you will recall that that Jordanian unit was actually in Fiqh, and I've had to move them pretty rapidly to again give me the possibility of creating a supply base there, because this HQ had no supply, and without any supply, not only were they choosing not to attack, they couldn't attack. So again, huge oversight on my behalf there for the Commonwealth. I've started to put that correct, if you like, and hopefully we'll get some attacks in, but it isn't going to be this turn. And that also means that across in the Damascus front, I've pretty much just lined them back up again. We may well put in the attack because we do have a supply in the Damascus front. But we'll just kind of see how that one goes, I think. So there you go, that's the overview. June 21. Okay, so we begin with the air barrage. Flak first of all. Just isn't going to go the Commonwealth's way, this, is it? That was a 12. So let's see who gets it. It's a 2. Don't know if that's good news or bad news, because that's basically the first plane in the flight, which means that that one remarkably, he does have a step and he comes back as a 3. As a 2, I mean. So we've got 18, barrage strength of 18, so actually it makes no difference at all. That was a great bad roll. As good a bad roll as you could probably get. So they're still on the 17 to 24, down once for density, down once for very close terrain. And we rolled a 9. 9 is adequate enough to get us the DG we require. So that stack will be DG'd for the coming attack, which is just as well, because all of these things are going to be critical. As I said, I've done this kind of out of sequence because obviously that would have happened usually prior, but I've just mixed it in so we can kind of go straight through. Okay, I've just done the axis or the Vichy reaction move. Where the reserve marker is there, we had the artillery unit and that 4412 armoured unit. Released them both, spent supply for fuel for the armoured unit, and just moved it across the river there and just blocking off that road that kind of loops around the blocking infantry there on the coast, just to make sure that the Commonwealth can't slip through should things go pear-shaped elsewhere. We then fired a barrage with the artillery against the two units which are just there. Unfortunately, although it was only down once because of terrain, not density, we managed to roll a 5, which wasn't enough to DG the unit. So the attack is still on, but I think that's probably as much as the Vichy can do in that situation. Okay, again, Commonwealth situation on the coast. We're going to again try and hit that Legion unit with as much artillery as we can. It will not be down for terrain and not for density, so it stays on the 17 to 24, but we only rolled a 6, which gets us our DG, but no more. That's the end of our artillery barrage. Okay, I'm going to start with this combat here. This is the better odds one. We've got 4 to 1 here, even with the river in place, and we've also got +2 AR. So we'll roll that first to see if we get a surprise. Wow, we just rolled an 11. Now we need how much? Oh, it's a 6. So we started at 4 to 1 in the very close. Flip the chart over. $21 to 1 in the very close. Here we go. And that's a 7. +2 obviously. Gives us an E3 DL2 2DG. So the DL2 once again is going to remove those Vichy units, and all of those units are going to have an E3 on them. So that's a great result again for the Commonwealth there. Now for the combat on the coast. This is only a 2 to 1 with a +1. Again, surprise first. So that's a 6 rolled on the dice, +1 is a 7, so no surprise for anybody. So it's going to stay as a 2 to 1. Wow, Commonwealth are suddenly bringing out the big die here. That was a 10. So again, great roll. 2 to 1 with a 10 is actually only an AO1 DO1 though. Sorry, it goes up to an 11, so it's an AO1 DL101, so that does make a difference. Yeah, tricky one I think that, because the DL1 makes a big difference because it removes one of those 2 defending Vichy battalions and leaves us with only the 1, and we wouldn't want to lose it, we'd have to retreat it, so we'll do just that. So that was a pretty good turn really for the Commonwealth, all things considered. We're sort of doing exactly what we wanted to do, which was clear that river line. Yeah, I'll do some tidying up, crack on. Okay, so this is just to show the tidy up. You can see there's almost quite a nice pocket formed there. plenty of room for the Vichy to escape over the coast, get behind that last river line. Interesting thing, I suppose, will be who wins initiative next turn. That's going to be a one to have a quick look at, which we'll do in just a second. I did do an extra attack down here. The odds weren't great. There was no surprise from the roll, so it was a straight. Sorry, I tell a lie. There was no AR bonus in the roll. But we managed to roll a surprise, which was 4 shifts. The 4 shifts took it up to 10 to 1, but sadly we managed to roll a 3, which meant AL1, DO1. The AL1 obviously we have to take, so we just took it from one of the units. The DL1 we just the DO1 we took it on the nose basically as the Vichy, and they stayed in place. I think at this stage, let's see, it's the last 10 of the scenario next, so the Vichy are fine, they're holding the line. So initiative, Commonwealth first. Well, that's a pretty poor roll. But having said that, they've just had some excellent rolls, so they can't complain, so that's a 5. Vichy. Yep, that's a 7. And I think even though it's the last turn of the game and it really probably isn't going to make a difference, I think the Vichy would take it, because they can just move back up to the coast, this section here, they can extricate those units and just dig in and make that new defence line as they want it. And that's going to be a pretty devastating defeat for the Commonwealth, I think.